I was fined $600,000 for eating a damn biscuit. What they didn't know was that the person they were mocking held far more power than they did. That was the crime. Now, Regina Blackwood was standing over me, her finger trembling as she pointed it inches from my nose. She was vibrating with a localized manic fury. "Don't you dare think you're untouchable just because you closed that account, Jack," she shrieked. Her face was a mottled shade of puce. "This is a place of business, not a cafeteria. If you want to gorge yourself, do it on your own time." I stared at her, my expression carefully blank. I could feel the silence of the office pressing in on us. My colleagues were frozen, staring at their monitors, trying to become invisible. "The employee handbook is crystal clear. Zero tolerance for food in the workspace," she continued, her voice rising to a glass-shattering pitch. "You knew the rules. You broke them anyway. That's willful misconduct. Consider your $600,000 commission on the Evergreen account forfeited, canceled, gone." I looked at her for a long beat. My heart should have been hammering, but instead, a strange, cool sense of relief washed over me. I'd given 8 years of my life to this firm. I'd missed birthdays, funerals, and relationships for the sake of those commissions, and she was flushing it all away over a biscuit. "Whatever," I said quietly. I leaned back in my chair, interlaced my fingers behind my head, and just stopped. I stopped caring. I stopped performing. And that was clearly the one thing she wasn't prepared for. Regina didn't like my tone. "Jack Miller, you will write a formal apology. You will read it in front of the entire company at the general meeting." I watched the way the pulse throbbed in her neck. My fists clenched for a split second under the desk, but I forced them to relax. "Sure," I said. "Whatever you want, Regina." The air in the room seemed to vanish. My coworkers were looking at me like I was a man walking toward a gallows with a smile on his face. Regina turned on her heel, her designer stilettos clicking sharply against the marble floor as she headed for the executive elevators to the 23rd floor. I stayed exactly where I was. 10 minutes later, the company-wide Slack notification pinged. Effective immediately, Jack Miller of Sales has been found in repeated violation of company conduct. Following a leadership review, his commission for the current month, totaling $600,000, has been revoked. He will deliver a public self-criticism today at 2 p.m. in the main auditorium as a warning to all staff. The office erupted into a silent chaos of hushed whispers. Cooper, the guy in the cubicle across from me, sent me a private message. "Is she going through a midlife crisis? Don't let her do this, Jack. Just apologize properly. It's 600 grand. I smiled at the screen. Apologizing wouldn't save me. She was culling the herd. She'd been eyeing my territory for months, waiting for a reason to cut my legs out from under me. When the old chairman, Mr. Kensington, personally headhunted me from Chicago, the deal was simple. I didn't have to punch a clock, I didn't have to follow the petty corporate decorum, and I could work however I saw fit. All that mattered was the bottom line. I was the backbone of the sales department. I single-handedly brought in 40% of the firm's revenue. The Vanguard Group contract, a $100 billion deal. I'd renewed it in a week while Regina was still trying to figure out which tie the CEO wore. She probably thought I made it look too easy. She thought anyone could do it. I typed back to Cooper, "Stay tuned. This afternoon isn't just a roast, it's a coronation for my replacement."